Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. K from the Arcadia Public Library. Welcome to our Monster Mash StoryCraft video for 2021. In this video I'm going to read you 2 monster stories, and then I have 4 crafts to demonstrate for you. We're providing materials for these crafts in packets that are available in the library during the last week of October. So let's go ahead and get started with our first story. This one's called Mostly Monsterly, and it's by Tammy Sauer, illustrated by Scott Magoon. And I'm reading today with permission from Simon & Schuster Publishers. On the outside, Bernadette was mostly monsterly. She had pointy ears and huge eyes. She had fangs and claws and a tail. She wore a creepy necklace, and she only had 2 toes on each foot. She lurched. She growled. She caused mayhem of all kinds. Like monsters are supposed to, huh? But underneath the fangs and fur, Bernadette had a deep, dark secret. Sometimes, when she was all by herself, Bernadette liked to pick flowers and pet kittens and bake. For a monster, Bernadette was just a little too sweet. When it came time to go to school with the other monsters, Bernadette felt a teensy bit nervous. Ooh, look at that. It says, "Welcome students at Monster Academy." I think I feel nervous too. In Monster Moves class, everyone practiced lurching techniques. Except Bernadette. Look, she's just standing there. "Group hug, everybody," said Bernadette. Look at the other monsters. That didn't go over so well. I don't think they want to do a group hug, do you? During Creepy Noises class, everyone worked on growling skills, except Bernadette. She burst into song. "Love me tender, love me true, I'm a monster who loves you." Someone ate her microphone. They didn't like her song, did they? In Advanced Monster Mayhem class, everyone conquered castles, dismantled villages, and flattened cities. Except you-know-who. Look what she did. "Hey guys, look what I did!" Look, it says, "Love you." The other monsters gaped. Clearly, this situation called for Bernadette's secret weapon. Treats! Bernadette's classmates crowded around her and smacked their lips. Bug parts? Bernadette shook her head. Fried snail goo? Nope, said Bernadette. Fish heads dipped in hot sauce? Even better, said Bernadette. She lifted the lid. Cupcakes with sprinkles! Gross. The other monsters took one look, then huffed out to recess. Bernadette's tail drooped. Guess those didn't go over very well either, did they? She trudged to the window and watched her classmates on the playground. They stomped. They slobbered. They scared the leaves off the trees. "They're acting like total monsters," said Bernadette. What? Wait! A toothy grin spread across her face. That's it! Bernadette went right to work. Seems like she has a plan. Do you know what it is? After recess, the monsters eyeballed their desks. Ew, they grumbled. Those cards are probably nice. Then they took a closer look. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This clipping's from my pinky toe. Roses are red, violets are blue. In this card I went hachoo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Here's a hacked up gift from me. Those all seem pretty disgusting, huh? You think the monsters will like them? Soon everyone got into the spirit of things. As for Bernadette, group hug? She earned herself a gold star. Best mayhem. Bernadette was mostly monsterly. She lurched, she growled, she caused mayhem of all kinds, but sometimes she was just Bernadette, and that was okay too. The end. All right, so our next story is another fun one. This one is called Bedtime for Monsters and is by Ed Veer, and I'm reading this book with permission from Macmillan Publishers. Bedtime for Monsters. Do you ever wonder if somewhere, not too far away, there might be monsters? Because supposing there are monsters, do you think that this monster might be licking his lips and thinking about you? And if this monster is thinking about you, maybe he's thinking about you in an eating you up kind of way? That would be scary, huh? I hope not. Because he's coming to find you right now. Look, there he is on his bike. Ring-a-ding-ding. He's ringing his bell. And as he bicycles bumpily through a dark and terrible forest, bumpity-bumpity-bump, do you think he's smiling because he remembered to pack his knife and fork? And as he crosses the gloopy, shloopy swamp, gloop, gloop, shloop, do you think he's imagining just how good you'll taste, all covered in ketchup? And as he tiptoes through thorns and thistles, scritch, scratch, ouch, do you think he'll decide you'll taste even more delicious, squished, and then squashed onto hot buttered toast? He looks like he's looking forward to that, doesn't he? And at this very moment, as he climbs up the cold and snowy mountains, getting closer and closer to you, don't you think he'll be feeling very hungry indeed? You're not scared, are you? Because if he is feeling very hungry indeed, while he searches high and low and up and down and in and out all over town, maybe you'll hear his big empty tummy rumbling and grumbling. And if you do hear a rumbling and a grumbling, might you also hear a creak, creak, creak as he starts to climb the stairs? Creak, creakity, creak. Ooh. And as he opens your bedroom door, do you think he's licking his lips because he wants to gobble you up? Oh no, it's much worse than that. This monster wants a disgustingly sloppy goodnight kiss. Kissy, kissy, kissy. Because it's bedtime for monsters everywhere. Big ones like him and little ones just like you. Did you really think he'd eat you up? How silly. Although you could leave out a little bedtime snack, just in case. The end. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to put together the crafts that we supplied materials for in our packets. For the grade K to 2 packet, these are the 2 crafts that you can make. A monster puppet and a little monster made out of various shapes. The monster puppet looks a little bit different in that I did not use the yellow eyes that I supplied in your packet. So if you'd like to cut out the eyes and decorate these as eyes and glue them on rather than cutting out the holes, you can do that. You can also cut out the mouth if you'd like, or just draw one on and use what's there. For this one, you're going to have all the parts. You'll just need to cut them out and glue them onto the paper. I believe the paper that I supplied for you in your packet is not yellow, it's a blue paper, so this is your background. And the other ones are all pretty self-explanatory. Just cut them out and glue them on. The only thing is the arms and the eye stalks. I've just provided you with slips of paper, and you can use whatever color you'd like. So those two crafts are for the K-2 packets. Okay, here are the crafts that we have supplied materials for the grades 3 to 5. We have a little Clothespin Monster and a little monster cup and ball game. All the materials that you'll need for these this first craft, the Clothespin Monster, are pretty much just everything that's not paper in your packet. So you want to take your yarn and cut off a little piece before you do this. Wrap the rest of it around your fingers, and then the part that you cut off, set it underneath, and you're going to tie a knot around the middle. I usually like to do a little square knot, so over and under. Try to make it right in the center there. Tie it one more time so it's nice and sturdy. Nice knot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to snip the loops. So I'm trimming it a little bit here so that they'll all be pretty much the same, and then put your scissors through the loops and just snip them so that it's going to look like hair. You're going to do that on both sides of your little knot that you've got here. Okay. And then the next step, you're going to want to use a marker to color your clothespin. I have a red marker, but of course you can use whatever color you like. Try to get it all covered so there's not very much wood showing. Okay, and then you're going to want to go ahead and glue on your hair. Just put a few drops of glue inside on both sides of the clothespin, like so. And then just tuck that hair right inside there, and it'll dry. And then after that, you're going to want to decorate the rest of your monster. I've given you some googly eyes. You can put on as many or as few as you like. I would suggest maybe one big one and 2 small ones. You can line them up however you like. I also gave you a little pom-pom that you can use for a nose. Use it or don't use it, it's up to you. Use your chenille stem, and I would cut mine in half. If you'd like really long arms, I did give you the whole chenille stem, so you could just leave the whole thing and just have longer arms. You want to take your bead, thread it through, and secure it by just bending it over, bending the chenille stem over. Then you can kind of bend the chenille stem any way you like to kind of pose your monster. My pom-pom fell off, so I have to re-glue it. And then add a little mouth to your monster, and that craft is finished. So the next craft is actually a game, and again, you can decorate this any way you like. I've given you a green piece of paper that's already cut into a square, but I'm going to show you how to do that part of it just in case, even though you don't need to do it. So you're going to fold over just as so, and very carefully draw a line where that paper meets the other side, and then cut off the excess. What you're doing is just basically taking an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, just a regular piece of copy paper, and making it into a square. So you've already got your first fold in order to make the cup. And what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to make it as even as possible so that I have a nice, neat origami figure when I'm finished. Okay. So put your fold at the bottom in a triangle shape. Take the right corner and line it up so that the point is about in the middle of the other side, and the bottom and the line of that are about parallel. And then take the left corner and do the same. Okay. Now you just have to see that there's 2 flaps on the top. Fold each one down toward the outer part of your figure. And then in order to make a little bit more room for your monster face, you can take that flap and then just tuck it inside, tuck it the other way. And that's it. You've got your cup. So now it's time to decorate. I gave you lots of different colors of papers. So you can make the monster that I've made here. I'm going to show you how to do that. But of course, you can use the papers any way you like and make your own design. And there actually should be enough in case you wanted to make more than one monster. What I'm doing is just kind of cutting out some eyes, and it looks like they were too big at first, so I'm just going to trim them back down. I didn't give you patterns for this, but you can just fold the paper over and cut a circle. And what I did here again is just I put red circles inside of my green circles, and they have to be a little bit smaller, so I'll cut those. Try it out. You know, I see that they were a little bit too big, so I'll just go ahead and trim them down a little bit. I'm also going to use the black paper to cut the hair that I have there on my sample. Again, you can cut your hair like I have the sample here, or you can make your hair different. You could maybe glue it so that it sticks up on top, make it all spiky, whatever you like. So I'm just measuring right now with the black paper so that it'll be the right width. I'm going to cut off the excess and just cut my hair out, just kind of freehand, doing it just so that it'll look kind of monstery. And once I get that cut off, we're going to glue it back on there. I think I made it a little bit too long, so in the end, after we're finished, I think we'll trim it off just a little bit. And you just need to glue everything together. And I think I made my eyes a little bit too big on this monster, so it kind of covers up most of the hair. So I think if I were going to do it over again, I'd probably make the eyes a little bit smaller so I could put them down a little bit further and not cover up my hair so much. But that's okay. I could always make another one. Okay, I need to fill in my eyes and make a little mouth. And after we're finished with that part, like I said, we'll trim the hair off a little bit later. Now we need to make the ball. So we're going to take a piece of scrap paper and take a piece of tape and your twine and tape your twine into the middle of your paper. I also gave you a paper clip to add a little extra weight, so put that in the middle. You can see I fold it up first before I start crinkling it. Makes it a little bit easier to crinkle it up into a nice ball. And you can use a smaller piece of paper if you'd like a smaller ball. You can just cut the paper down so it's smaller. That actually makes the game a little bit more challenging. I think the bigger the ball is, the easier the game is. So I'm going to tape it a little bit so that it'll stay together. Then I'll take the other end of the twine and tape that inside the cup. Once you get that done, you can start playing the game and see how good you are. Okay, the last step is going to be just to trim the hair off, as we said we were going to before, because it was just sticking off the side a little bit. So we'll just trim that off so that it's going right against the edge there. And then we're finished.